As a business owner and creative, it's hard enough to manage a regular income and late paying clients. But when you add a pile of debt on top of that, it's really easy to get discouraged. So today, I'm going to walk you through a 3-step process to pay off debt. It's the same process that I teach every one of my clients, and it's the one that I use to pay off $25,000 of debt in just 5 months. My name is Lucas, and welcome. The goal is to start small, get a quick win, build some confidence, and then carry that momentum forward into paying off larger debts. So grab a pen and a piece of paper and let's get to it. The first step is to list every single debt that you have and the total amount that you owe for each. Start with your smallest at the top of the list and then work your way down to the largest debt. As an example, let's say that I owe my sister $300, the bank $3,000, and the credit card $6,000. Now, once you have all of these listed, I want you to look them over. Oftentimes, debt can feel heavy and burdensome. So if that's the case, I invite you to think back to the time and the situation you were in when you first borrowed the money. Now, as an example, I borrowed money from the bank to buy a new car. Now, at that time, the car I had broken down. So to be able to borrow money and get a new car was incredibly helpful for me. When I look at my current debt from this perspective, it becomes a lot less heavy. Now, this isn't going to get rid of your debt, but it will lighten the load, especially if you're feeling overwhelmed by how much debt you have. Now that you've organized your debts, I'd like you to focus in on the smallest debt first and make it your new mission in life to get rid of it as fast as possible. Put every available dollar that you have towards getting rid of it. And if you can hold off on the new shoes and bag or the set of tires and wheels that you've been wanting temporarily and divert all of those funds towards that first debt, all the better. In the meantime, pay the bare minimum on all of your other debts. So for example, I'm gonna pay the bare minimum to the credit card and the bank, and I'm gonna focus all of my effort on paying back my sister. Once you pay off the first debt, celebrate it. Now, this doesn't have to be a big celebration. In fact, when I was doing this, I would yell out, "Arigato," every time I made a payment towards my debt. Arigato is thank you in Japanese. Why am I thanking my money? I learned this gratitude practice from Ken Honda so that when money comes in, I'm thanking it. When it goes back out, I'm thanking it. It makes handling money, especially paying off debt, so much more enjoyable. So Ken, arigato. Now, take the payment that was going towards step 1, combine it with your payment for your second smallest debt, and get rid of it. And once you do, celebrate it. At this point in the lesson, most of my students will chime in with the question, isn't it more logical to pay off the debt with the highest interest first because it's costing the most amount of money? To me, the answer is simple. Logic cannot account for our emotional relationship with money. We are highly emotional beings, especially around money and debt. But the moment we pay off our first debt, we instantly feel better and lighter. And that builds confidence, making it so much easier to pay off the next debt. But when we start with a large debt first, it's so much easier to lose momentum, get discouraged, and fail. Start small, pace yourself, achieve a few small wins, and once you build momentum, tackling the large debts will become much easier. Earlier, I mentioned paying off $25,000 of debt in 5 months. Now, in a similar fashion, one of my clients, Jake, paid off $14,000 of debt in 6 months. And the Jensens, they paid off a whopping $90,000 in less than 12 months. So how did we do it? By combining the plan that I'm teaching you right now with splitting our money. For a period of time, we focused our efforts on getting rid of our debt, and because of that, it got wiped out fairly quickly. And to illustrate the point, here's Kevin sharing his experience of paying off his debt.
The big split has turned my finance into a sport, and it's like I find so much joy in that sport that even the suicide sprints of paying off debt, even that is so worth it because I love the game now.
If you'd like to learn more, comment the big split to schedule a one-on-one call with me. I'm going to send you a questionnaire to see if we're a good fit. And if we are, I'll look at your income, expenses, and debts with you for free. Once your 2 smallest debts are gone, take those payments, combine them with your 3rd smallest debt, and then get rid of it. And once you do, celebrate. And then just rinse and repeat until all of your debts are gone. And once they are, celebrate in a massive way. In fact, comment debt-free so I can celebrate with you. And lastly, if you currently have a tremendous amount of debt, like 50 or 100,000 or more, I know it's not a good feeling, but there is hope. The Jensens first came to me with $90,000 in debt, and they were freaking out. And they honestly figured that their situation was hopeless. But 2 months into splitting their money, and they paid off $20,000 of debt. 5 months in, they paid off $45,000 of debt. And I remember that day because we celebrated that milestone together. If you currently have a huge amount of debt and you're freaking out, I'd like you to consider making it your temporary mission in life to get rid of it, to free yourself from that burden. It's worth it. So the first thing to do is figure out how much you need to live on. Write out all of your monthly expenses and be honest with yourself. If there's things you can do without temporarily, put them on pause so you can free up more money to go towards the debt. Then take every other available dollar and put it towards getting rid of it. So let's recap. Start off by listing out all of your debts. Pick the smallest one, pay it off first. Then take the payment from that, combine it with your second smallest debt, get rid of it. And then repeat that process until all of your debts are gone. And be sure to celebrate each time you pay off a debt. And if you'd like to learn how to grow your savings and pay off your debt simultaneously, comment the big split and I'll send you some info. Thank you for your time and energy, and I'll see you in the next one.